I always say, it's like, whoever would have imagined in my craziest, wildest dreams that this little Dutch boy could create such a ruckus. Hi, this is Eddie Van Halen. Shh, I got some neat stuff to show you. Follow me. Here it is. The replica. Some people call it Frankenstein. I call it my baby.
People have a lot of questions, and the guitar's always been a source of fascination.
Kind of an enigma.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same damn guitar as on the first record when it was black and white. People don't think about that. You know?
No, a lot of people don't know.
There's a black and white and a black, red, white one.
But it's the same guitar. Yeah. It's a fascinating subject. It's a fascinating guitar because it just, people are crazy about it.
I know.
I have a couple questions that I want to ask you and sort of give people an insight. When did you build this guitar?
Oh, 74, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Oh, I was looking to, if you notice in old pictures, it had a Gibson sticker on it.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures.
And I don't know where I got that sticker, but that was the perfect thing because what I was trying to do was cross-pollinate a Gibson with a Fender. Mm-hmm. Because I loved the vibrato bar. And this was way before Floyd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And oh man, if I go into detail about how I used to keep that damn thing in tune, that would be a whole nother film.
You know, at the time, nobody built their own guitars. What made you want?
I didn't have the money, and the guitar that I wanted to play did not exist. It was that simple.
Right.
Yeah. It was actually Boogie Bodies who supplied Charvel with the body and the neck. And I go out there, they were out, San Dimas way. I'll never forget, there's a body laying at the bottom. I'm going, what are these? And I go, oh, those are seconds. And I didn't know what that meant.
They were raw, unfinished, just stacked up?
It's just a piece of wood, but they called them seconds. I'm going, oh, so that means they're next in line to be manufactured. No, that means they got a knot in the wood. Cosmetically, they were not attractive. I'm going, well, I'll take one of those. Because I don't care if it's got a knot in it,
Right.
And the body cost me $50, and the neck cost me $80.
Was it as simple as, you had guitars before this with a humbucker that you liked and a Strat you were comfortable with? What was the process like leading up to saying, I'm gonna, because it was a moment for electric guitar in itself, the cross-pollination of a humbucker in a Strat style body, was there something that led up to that, or was it just not that much of a thought process?
Like everything from sticking a humbucker into paraffin wax in a U-band coffee can and pulling out just in time before the sucker melted. I'm a tone chaser.
Right.
I love chasing tone, and that's the only way I could get the sound. And I always mainly just use the rear pickup because this stuff isn't even hooked up.
Right.
It doesn't do anything. A lot of what I do is really trial and error. Mm-hmm. But I do know where I want to get. And sometimes I ruin a lot of stuff getting there.
Once you had the body and the neck and knew that you were did you put the guitar together right away?
The funny thing is, the black and white stripes, which was on the first Van Halen record, I don't know what made me think of that at all. I was just looking for something different but I really wasn't looking. I mean, even the pick guard on the first record, I cut out myself. That was not a Fender.
No.
Yeah, I made that myself. You know, like with a pair of scissors and a soldering iron just to get the edges smooth.
Once you had the elements, did you put it together right away, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't take more than a couple days. You know.
What were your first impressions after you had it together?
Oh, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of a culmination of years of putzing around, and everything kind of ended up in this guitar.
Did you feel like you were onto something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I wasn't looking for anything to sell or to please other people. There's just nothing was out there that I wanted, and that was my motivation, basically. Okay, I want something I want that works for me.
No locking nut.
No locking nut. The whole first record, yeah.
Stock Fender tremolo.
With this guitar, with no Floyd Rose, you know, no locking nut, and people were just dripping around. How the fuck to keep that thing in tune? But it's all process of elimination and making sure everything's lined up. And
straight string pull.
Yeah. And I used to even take the guitar string through the block in the back, and with every turn, I would hold the string and turn it with it.
So that the string didn't twist.
So, exactly. And straight, smooth, and I used to put it through the tuning peg and wind it up, not down.
So that it was straight into the peg instead of
and so
the break angle.
If you look at old stuff, I always have to keep my hand there, because if you hit the string too hard, it would pop out of the nut. And then I put 3-in-1 oil in the brass nut, and the grooves were bigger than they were supposed to be, but that's the only way it could slip and slide. Kind of like a Mazzola party.
You tricked it out.
Yeah. But tricked it out for myself.
Right, for performance. But you figured a way to tweak and trick it out.
Well, you know me well enough that I trick everything out.
To your spec, to what works for you.
Whatever works for me.
Do you remember what inspired you to paint the stripes?
I don't have a clue.
It just happened?
Yeah. I just took, I'm going, okay, it needs paint. And for some reason, I just grabbed masking tape, and I just started rolling it around on it. And then I painted it black first, and then I taped it for some reason, I don't know, and put tape on it. And then I spray painted it white, and I took the tape off, and then I used rubbing compound to smooth it out. I'm going, hey, it looks kind of neat.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you can still kind of see it underneath the original, you know, stuff that's on the first record, but it certainly wasn't a corporate manufactured.
It wasn't scientifically derived at in any way.
It was just like pretty much everything I do. It's kind of a mistake, you know.
The guitar, black and white, is super famous, but the guitar with the
I almost wish I know.
top coat of red.
See, that's what's funny.
Is even more famous.
I know, and every time I look at it, I go, God, I wish I would have left it black and white with the pickguard. But then again, this is more famous. It took on a life of its own.
Yeah, it's beyond.
Yeah.
It's beyond it.
It just took on a life of its own.
How soon after the black and white coat? Because I'm pretty sure you did the first tour black and white with it black and white.
Black and white, yes.
Where did the red coat come into play?
After yellow and black.
The yellow and black strap.
Oh, I hassled with that guitar forever, man.
The yellow and black strap.
The original yellow and black that we buried Dimebag with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the real one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, rest in peace, Dimebag. So that's when I went back to this guitar.
Because it just sounded better, felt
Yeah.
better, did what you wanted it to do.
And I said, okay, let me change it up a little bit, you know?
So this is the original guitar. Let me grab a replica real quick.
This is going to blow your mind. It's something I've always wanted to do. This is the shit. You know what I mean?
Do you love it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, it feels better than the real baby.
No kidding. That was my last question, so you just knocked it out.
It really, and it sounds better.
What were your first impressions when you first saw this guitar?
Come on. It's like probably the first time in my life that somebody handed me something. Chip Ellis handed me a guitar that just freaking blew my mind. Yeah? It sounds better than the original. It feels better. And the cat just blew my fucking mind.
So maybe people can look forward to seeing you play the
Oh,
replica
yeah.
in
Come on, he even got the ashes and cigarette burns, you know? It's like, the cat's insane.
My favorite part is how they all have a 1971 quarter.
Yeah, I'm saying it's got the extra hole.
Right.
Because it used to be
Right.
shifted over to put underneath here. And then I just filled another hole because I didn't need it anymore. But
So this is going to be
he
a
nailed everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is, it's
And
crazy.
And the writing
Well,
on
look what I wrote.
the writing
This
on
is
it.
the shit.
It
sounds
better.
better.
Than the original,
Oh, man, it's just Chip.
and
What'd you do to me?
And you just love it.
I do. I do. Take 3. Most folks.
So I want to introduce everybody to the man responsible for this amazing recreation of Ed's most famous #1 baby guitar, and that is Chip Ellis. Chip is a guitar builder for Fender Musical Instruments, the parent company to the EVH Guitar Company. He's done an amazing job, and I thought it'd be really good to get insight from Chip's perspective on the guitar. If you don't mind, I'm going to pepper you with some questions. And
Please do.
How did you come into this project?
Well, the project came down the pipeline, and I was the only one at Jackson and Charvel that had done any relic guitars, so I snatched it up before anybody else could get their hands on it, and just did my thing.
Yeah.
Really got into it. So.
Yeah. What went through your mind when you knew that you were going to be in charge of creating this replica?
It absolutely flattered me, because this guitar is what got me into guitar playing. So it was like everything I had been working for had just come full circle.
So you were a fan of Ed's music and his guitars previous to this project?
His music is what got me into this.
How long? When was the first time you heard Van Halen?
1984 album.
Yeah.
I wore it out. I bought it on tape. I wore that out.
Changed your life?
First CD I ever bought when CDs came out was 1984.
Changed your life?
Changed my life. This man
And
this guitar.
and you play as well. You've been playing since you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, aside from
I think he needs to be able to play in order to do what he did.
oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
It helps when you're a guitar builder to play it.
Was the impression that you got from Van Halen or Van Halen music, was it guitar first and then you became interested in the building process, or were you interested in the building process early on, or how did that work?
It was early on I got into it. The first guitar I bought was an Area Pro 2 Les Paul copy, and I tore it apart and I spray painted it and was constantly messing with it.
I think that there was an aspect that Ed was putting out there in the world where everybody, like, it wasn't just enough to be a player, but you had to fuck with your guitars too at the same time.
you
You know, it
absolutely
was
had
cool. It was cool. Ed made it cool. Did Ed inspire the way you build guitars at all, or did he really provide an impetus to become a builder?
A little bit of both. His technique in building, make it work for yourself. Just go at it, whatever it takes. I mean, you told me that you chiseled this out, right?
Yeah. Well, look at it.
I kind of did the same
No
thing.
pro job.
I would take guitars and just destroy them, just trying to get what I want. And then as I learned on, how to work on guitars and got better at building and everything, then I started making them a little more polished. And
Well, how did you go about building the guitar? What was the process like? You've got the project, now it's yours. You're going through a thought process. When you actually got to a table.
This
and
is what I want to know. How did you do it?
I absolutely geeked
I mean,
out on
he
it.
even got the damn reflectors that we bought at a truck stop. And because at the end of the show, when the whole VH logo came down, I'd go like that.
Yeah, shoots a
to the
prism
audience.
out over the crowd.
Yeah. Now, where the hell did you find these damn things?
That was a lot of research. I found
To put it mildly.
it took a long time. I tried to find the original manufacturers, one of which had gone out of business. So it was kind of tough finding the exact reflectors. But we did it, and I spent months, just going through it, looking at every picture I could find of the guitar, just dissecting every little screw hole, every piece of flaked off finish.
You call it a geek out. It's a geek out process.
Yeah, I just picked it apart, probably further than anybody should pick anything apart. I mean, I just wanted to nail every little detail on the thing, and I did the best I could.
That you did, even down to the screw holes, to
What?
the tuning peg. Well, I mean, look, I had so many different tuning pegs in this guitar. He even nailed that.
The thing for me that blows me away more than anything about what you did is that you did this without that guitar. You
Without
did the
the guitar.
entire thing from photographs.
you did.
You never had the real guitar to base the thing off of. That's just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Well, I had a bunch of photographs, and like I said, I was zooming stuff in and just, like I said, geeking
How
out
do
on
you
it.
do
Just,
from a photograph?
it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I mean, I just did the best I could. But I had grown up with this guitar, though. I mean, I had pictures of this hanging on my wall as a kid. You know, I
did
just knew
too.
this guitar inside and out. It was a part of my life coming up. You know,
That's so special, you know.
and like I
guess
said
it was
earlier,
part of both of ours.
It's a part of all of ours,
Yeah.
you know.
It was part of a lot of people's lives, and it just, like I said, once I got to working on this, it just felt like everything had come full circle. It was such an honor.
How did you feel after you talked to Ed? Because you weren't with the guitar when the guitar got delivered to Ed, but once, you know, Ed had seen the guitar and called you, and you knew that he was happy and excited with the guitar, you know, how did that make you feel?
It blew my mind. It was a great day. It really was.
That's a day to remember in your life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A pivotal moment.
I'm as impressed as anybody could be. You've done an amazing.
I'm sitting here playing a replica, and it feels better than the real one.
There's just so much detail and so much that went into building this guitar, and it's so exciting. It's one of the most famous guitars in rock and roll history. It'll be an icon. 100 years from now, people will know exactly what it is and what it was. And you know, I'm just glad it was you, and I just think it's fantastic how happy Ed is with it. I have one question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Have you ever confused the replica with the original?
Yes.
Really?
That's why I wrote this on the back.
So
We have a picture sitting on the
Yeah,
tailgate of my
yeah,
car.
yeah.
We're all looking at three of them at
Mhm.
once, wondering which one's which.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Well, thank you both for sitting with me and answering some questions.